Alright, what is going on YouTube? Jordan versus Lear, the final quarterfinals of Holy Cup over here. $15,000 on the line. Jordan will have Persians, Magyars, Britons, Portuguese, Byzantines, Khmer. The other side, Liereyy has Japanese, Mayans, Sicilians, Franks, Malians, and Burgundians. The maps that are banned are Holy City by Liereyy and Starfighter by Jordan. So we will have Texcoco once again. Thank you so much again, Vanderbraun, for the raid. I appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed the series so far. They were super fun. So, oh, is that a heated shut emote? That's a pretty cool emote. Oh yeah, he's got a heated shut emote. That's nice. I also want to warn everybody that, I've been casting for 9 hours, so I'm gonna be a little rusty when it comes to casting. When is the next game? Like that. So, only 20 seconds, and we already have a civilization matchup to discuss over here on Graveyards. Khmer versus Sicilians. So, that actually should favor Sicilians, right? Because the two civilizations are both very heavily focused on cavalry, but in general, the Sicilians' lower bonus damage means that it's very hard for the Khmer to sort of swing the battle in their favor by adding a couple of spearmen. Alright, so welcome everybody to Holy Cup over here. It is the quarterfinals, Liereyy versus Jordan. Down south is Liereyy in green Sicilians. And on the north, it is Jordan as red as Khmer. The two players are pretty close to each other over here. Both of them are on the left side of the map. Looking at the base of Liereyy, this is actually a pretty hard to defend base. This is a very open right side over here. I have no idea how Liereyy is going to defend that. Like, it might still be best to just wall all the way out here, but knowing Liereyy, he might just completely give up on walling and just leave it open for now. Other side, for Jordan, this map is much more wallable, to be honest. Nice little wood line here. So, you could potentially even wall all the way out here. Same thing on this side. And I guess it makes sense to wall out here. So, barracks, you don't even need a barracks. You will just go stable right away. So, for the time being, Jordan is just going to be 6 on sheep as normal. And the first question is looking at how many villagers we are going to have on wood. Technically, both of these are scout civs, but they can play archer roles as well. Although it's a little bit unorthodox. So we will see what's up with that. Ultimately, we should see cavalry from both of these. Neither of them have paladin, they are capped at cavalier. But the Sicilian Cavalier in the long run is actually going to be a lot better in here. Alright. So, let's see what we got for Jordan. He's got one board that's just chilling right next to that wood line over here. Looking at the villager working. Okay, he got bored of it. So, free on wood for Jordan. That's a scouts build from him. And it's probably going to be free on wood as well for Liereyy. Nothing new under the sun, just good old-fashioned scout wars. So, the previous set was Doubt versus Yo, which was very much a game of two players with amazing macro. In this one, it's actually two players with amazing micro as well. So, once again, the two players have very, very similar styles. Liereyy should be the favored one, but there's a lot of gimmick on these maps, so I think Jordan definitely has the chance to surprise him over here. This could come down to 5 games. If I just look at today's schedule, I would have said that this is probably the closest set of all. So this could easily be a 5-game set. Alrighty, so second board on the way for Jordan. So far, not a lot of walling from either side. As Liereyy is actually going to try pushing in some deer. The deer are pretty far apart, but you can still get one of them in. And we got Mr. Super Karate. Thank you so much for the new sub. I appreciate it. Welcome. Hello, hello. Thank you. So, let's talk about Jordan's gold mines over here for a brief moment. If he was out here, these should both be pretty safe gold mines. Whereas on the other side for Liereyy, this gold mine is borderline. This one is actually pretty decent because you can easily wall here. And honestly, for Liereyy, the easiest way to defend his base might be to just wall in here, use the TC, wall in here, and here. Would be an awkward looking base and would give up on the berries, but that's probably his best bet, aside from walling kilometers out here. So, what else do we got? We got villagers being added here to wood. That should be a 20 pop feudal from Jordan. Indeed, it is. Whereas on the other side, it should be 20 pop as well for Liereyy. So, pretty much the same builds for both players in this one. Early on, this should favor the Khmer, but in the long run, this will probably swing in the favor of the Sicilians. Jordan actually pushed in 3 deer here to his TC. Liereyy also did at least 2, and I think he's working on the 3rd one right now. This guy's choosing a weird path for himself. Now, here's the deal. These Khmer will probably just play straight stable without barracks, so there is not going to be a lot of spears out anyways. So the Sicilian bonus to sort of have lower bonus damage from the opponents doesn't really matter here until Jordan actually starts adding spearmen. Barracks on the way for Liereyy, as he's gonna wall off the left side as expected. The right side is the main question. In a scout war, he's still fine not to wall a lot, because guess what? He can just quick wall these villas in here. And let's see what we have for Jordan. He's looking around, trying to see what his opponent is up to, although it's somewhat predictable. It's gonna be scouts. He just wants to double check that there is no surprise about like something like surprise men-at-arms or so. It's possible that you do something like a surprise man-at-arms play, but it's very unlikely. Anyways, scout wars were actually better here for Jordan because I think he hit feudal a couple of seconds earlier, so he managed to get the first hit. The 2 scouts separate with the same HP as stable is now coming in. Jordan is going for a stable himself. He's got some houses close to his wood lines, which I think are pretty helpful. He can jump into those in case Liereyy comes in with his own scouts. But he won't be able to go for defensive spearman at all. The map is called Graveyards, by the way. It's a little bit like Arabia, but you have smaller patches of trees. You see the gold is a lot more scattered. So, it's not like Arabia where you have a lot of starting gold, some neutral golds. There's a lot of scattered gold all across the map. There's a combined number of 11 relics as well, and the stone is also scattered. That's basically the main differences. I think there's also more hills than on some versions of Arabia, but the key thing is that the gold is a lot more spread out and there's a lot more relics. So this is why, for example, Aztecs are an insta-ban or snipe in this tournament, because if you let someone have Aztecs here, then he's gonna have so many relics. Aztecs would already be a strong civilization on an Arabia-like map. Have them with 5, 6, 7 relics and they're unstoppable. Burgundians are also popular here because of their relic bonus. Alright, here comes the scouts. There should be no hole in here, but I'm not 100% convinced. It's a little bit hard to see. There might be a hole here, actually. Nonetheless, spearmen coming forward as well by Liereyy. As I said, in the long run, this will swing in the favor of the Sicilians, but for now it is Khmer all over the place with their farming eco, plus the chance to jump into houses. Liereyy actually wastes a scout over here onto the TC fire, as now the scouts are coming in, trying to get some damage done, but there is just absolutely none to be found, and it looks like neither of the players are actually capable of doing any damage to the opponent. Liereyy trying to bash his way through the wall here. Not that much of a damage done for the time being. And I wonder if Jordan wants to jump on those. Yes, he will. He's going forging. He wants to jump in these, but I don't like it. Liereyy could just sit back and sort of boom behind this one, because Jordan is investing a lot into his scouts, so if Liereyy is fully walled, these scouts won't do much, and that's gonna be a massive investment for Jordan that's gonna go down the drain. I'm not sure where the Spearman went for Liereyy, but it looks like he's no longer here. He's about to join the party just now. But, yeah, Leader's gonna try to turn back and fight this one with the hill. Nice move from Jordan to take the hill, take down the Spearman. As I said, both of these players are very, very good with micro. Villagers already being sent to gold at 14 farms. That's pretty standard for Khmer. As Liereyy comes in to try and get some villager kills here. Still not a single villager lost in the game. That may soon change. The lady is gonna go down. Beautiful move from Liereyy. Detached one scout from the rest of the group and will snipe the villager. Second stable leader for Jordan. So looks like he is really heavy on the scouts for the time being. Liereyy doesn't have a single upgrade on his scouts. Jordan has forging. So that's the difference. Although Liereyy is now going for bloodlines, but he only has one stable. So he's not gonna have the numbers. For now, it is 8 scouts versus 5. Let's see if Jordan will go for the bloodlines himself. No, instead he's adding a barracks. So this is the moment where he's gonna start thinking about adding a couple of spearmen. But it still won't be ideal because, as I said, it's Sicilian bonus that's just gonna reduce the bonus damage. Now that the berries are gone, Liereyy can immediately start walling himself. You see that? Berries are gone. So he's gonna start walling himself. This guy is gonna be probably the most exiled villager in the realm of Liereyy. Poor guy will be walled out on a single farm. Imagine that. Is he gonna go back inside, or is he gonna be left on the outside? Okay, looks like Liereyy is not going to leave him out there. Alright, scouts now moving in though from Jordan, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a hole here on the left, right? I was too obsessed with that villager that I didn't see how these scouts got in. And the answer is that they just run in here on the south, okay. So before the wall is finished, Jordan runs in. Jordan doesn't have bloodlines, but he does have forging, so he's got the damage output. Liereyy is gonna have to make a lot of quick walls to stop this aggression. It's good on the gold, it's good on the wood. The other wood line is quite exposed, however. Looks like they aren't able to do anything, and Liereyy could easily trap that army in there, now that I'm looking at it. Looks like he won't, and the villagers moving that way could easily fall victims. Jordan just trying to snipe a villager. It's impressive that so far, despite all this feudal age aggression and all the scout wars, there was only one villager killed in this entire game, and that was from Jordan. And that villager was almost saved as well. Look at this dance. The micro nerd dance. This is crazy. Jordan doesn't want to eat a single hit with those scouts, and he's just running circles around Liereyy, but Liereyy is always just cutting off the escape path. Finally, with some fancy splits, Jordan is able to get out here. He's trying to find an angle to attack, but there's really none, and I feel like at this point Jordan is just delaying the inevitable, potentially losing all his scouts. In the end, best thing he could do is try to snipe this veil, for example. This is so weird that to have, you know, previous quarterfinals, TaToH versus Yo, some of the best macro players in the world. And then, now this one is Jordan versus Liereyy. Both of them are big micro nerds themselves. So, it's very fun to look at this, and I knew it. I knew exactly that Liereyy is gonna get tired of this, and he's just gonna trap those scouts in there. Jordan probably would have been better off if he just commits against the Vills on the farms and maybe takes one down. Castlage on the way for Jordan, though, something that we haven't talked about yet, because while he was running around here, I mean, I'm not even sure why he's doing this. Like, okay, now he gives up on it. I feel like this was more about, okay, I'm just gonna try to distract my opponent here, so he doesn't attack me while I'm going up. He's actually gonna play triple stable knights. It's a little tight to play triple stable knights with 8 on gold, but we'll see if that's something that Jordan can pull off. He actually added one more scout over here, as this guy is also gonna get killed. Liereyy is also on the way to Castle H. He's gonna be on double stables for the time being. What was that? This is a brand new patch. We have Spac Chat for just a couple of seconds. I mean, was it just the final, you know, understanding of Jordan that he lost all those scouts? He's like, shit. And Liereyy was like, yep. I kind of feel like that was the case. That he just ran around with the scouts and was trying to find something, and they were dancing there for half an hour, but there was nothing there. Anyways, it's a little bit ambitious from Jordan to play triple stable knights supported by 2 additional TCs being added and the monastery. This is really tight on your eco. So, free DCs for now for Jordan. He's gonna protect the key resources, but at this point it's gonna start becoming a war for relics. A knight's coming out here for Liereyy. Spearman also dealing some shots against each other. It's 8 knights already for Jordan, and it's only 2 for Liereyy. Liereyy, in fact, is going for pikemen because he's getting outnumbered really heavily. Jordan beat him to Castle Age, plus it's triple stables. That's why Jordan has way better knight numbers, and Jordan's going to utilize that advantage that he has to get some relics. Speaking of relics, you see, Jordan made a scout while he was going up. That was intentional. And you see, he's just doing that to scout the relics. He probably wanted to use his leftover scouts from the aggression against Liereyy to do that, but that wasn't really possible. So now, he's gonna have to make a new scout and scout around with that. Monk coming in here to try and get a conversion. And did you see how Jordan switched target to the high HP one? He checked out how strong those knights were, and he realized that the first 2 knights were actually much weaker than the 2 coming behind. So he switched target to the ones at the back. One thing he didn't anticipate, though, is that the knights will have the chance to close distance. Look at that quick wall! That is disgusting, man! Oh my goodness. This is gonna be a spectacular series. This is gonna be a spectacular series here. That's just some crazy quick walls over there. And now it is 7 knights versus 3, and 3 TCs for Jordan. That's the bigger thing here. He can't consistently produce villagers on all 3 of those, but it's still, you know, the TCs are there. And he's the one that's going for relics. Liereyy just now starting to move on with those. But obviously, it's gonna be hard for Liereyy to control the map with mostly pikemen. He's still gonna have a reasonable amount of relics, so I would say Liereyy will probably get like 3 or 4. But Jordan should have the relic advantage in here. Alright, so a bit of an overchop danger over here for Liereyy, as he's gonna lose a monk, and now the knights can jump the spearman. As a rule of thumb, you can jump the spearman with your knights if you have more knights than pikemen, or at worst even numbers. So, Jordan for now is gonna be on 1 relic, and he's adding a lot of barracks. Makes me wonder if this is the new swordsman. Remember, the swordsman line got buffed, the long swordsman upgrade is now cheaper, I believe. So, it could make sense for Jordan to play longswords, but what's even better is that he could just break through these walls. I'm not sure if he broke in here or here, doesn't really matter, it seems like it was here, because now the knights are in and they are killing Liereyy here. Oh boy, Lierey's in trouble. He is already behind by quite a lot of vills, and there is knights inside his eco. So many vills are going down, and for Jordan it looks like he's just adding spears for the time being. Liereyy trying to snipe the monk, and will be successful doing so. So, as things stand, it is 3 TCs for Jordan, 2 only for Liereyy, and I'm not 100% sure what Jordan wants to do with 3 barracks right now. He's just adding a couple of spearmen. Makes me wonder if the initial plan was to switch into longswords against the pikeman play, but then he realized there is so many knights that it doesn't make a lot of sense to switch to longswords yet. Now there is going to be some more spears being added, but now Jordan has a pretty decisive lead economically, so he doesn't have to be too stressed about this game right now. He just needs to make sure he consistently is picking up relics. This should be guaranteed for him. And look at Jordan, he's going for the one that's further apart. So I like that quite a bit. He could pick this one up as well, but that's closer, so he can probably delay that. Whereas he's going for the one that's furthest away, because he wants to prevent the opponent from getting that. Same applies to Leary over here. He is going for relics that are furthest apart as well. Leary's army is still pretty considerable, and he's got a lot of pikemen out here. Villagers from Jordan will jump into the houses, and that's actually a fairly sizable force here from Leary. Maybe Jordan under-anticipated the amount of forces that could come in here. Pikemen now on the way, but remember, the Sicilian Knights take less bonus damage, so it's not gonna be as efficient as it is for the Sicilians. Meanwhile, Jordan is still consistently scouting the map. Leary has a 10 villagers deficit right now as the pikeman upgrade is now in. +1/+1 for Leary, same thing for Jordan on their knights, so that's a dead even in that regard as well. I think Jordan's just waiting for the opportunity to jump on those. He wants to take one decisive fight here, jump on the pikeman from the other side. Meanwhile, the knights actually break in here, and I think there is a tile gap that they could use to run into the base of Leary and kill quite a lot of villagers while Leary is distracted. Speaking of distracted, this is the time to shine. Scale mail is in for Jordan, and now he should have the chance to force Leary back. Behind this one, Leary has 2 relics, Jordan is coming in with the second one as well. Knights are in though, and as I said, 1 or 2 knights here on this wood line. As that's gonna cause a couple of villagers to being lost. Still a lot of relics up for grabs. This one should be Leary's one, this one as well. These are the real ones that are contested right now. Pikeman getting closer, taking this fight. Iron casting on the way for Leary. No iron casting just yet for Jordan, but he's going for that too. So the two players are actually pretty much mirroring each other's moves. The reason why Leary is behind economically is because he lost a couple more vills, and because Jordan was up to 3 TCs faster. So, as things stand, it's 3 relics for Leary, 2 for Jordan. Leary should be able to grab that relic if he is making a run for it with that monk. He's also mining stone like a madman, so we're getting close to the part where the civilization balance will actually swing in the favor of Sicilians. So far it was mostly Khmer because they have a better food eco at the beginning, more efficient, and such. But now we're actually gonna see this swing, I think. Because if you think about it, we're getting closer to the part where we have a lot of pikemen, but these pikemen are dealing much less damage against the Knights of Leary than the pikemen deal damage against the Knights of Jordan here. Plus, as I said, as we get closer and closer to that castle and the Imperial Age, Hoburg will start to become a thing for the Sicilians, adding them some extra melee armor as well to their knights. Plus, honestly, if Jordan is this heavy on spearmen, I can even imagine First Crusade being a thing. If you think about it, Leary does have +2/+1 infantry upgrades, right? It's not impossible for him to build 2 TCs real quickly and just pop First Crusade. He would have most of the infantry upgrades already, and he would have 35 sergeants to snowball the game within Castle Age. Would it win the game? Maybe not, but it would definitely push Jordan back quite a bit. Here come the monks as well for Leary. Both players at 3 lakes. Leary's got quite a lot of monks here though, and Jordan does not. And remember that Jordan's pikemen also do a lot less damage. This is a decisive win here for Leary, if you ask me. Oh boy, disaster for Jordan. This is why Sicilians are an intriguing civilization pick in this matchup. Because you can have your cavalry being very resistant to the spearmen. That's the massive thing here. And suddenly, it's double the army for Leary, 138 pop versus 123. And now, Jordan is scrambling to switch into an archer, but really, as weird as it sounds, like maybe longswords are the better option here with the new patch. It's hard to say. As I said, I feel like there is a moment where it swings in the favor of Sicilians, and we have just gotten to that point, I believe. Another fight over here. Monks trying to just lower the amount of pikemen they encounter by having a couple of conversions. This, by the way, allows Leary to continue picking up relics on the right side. as this once again is a decisive win for Leary, and since Jordan is only pikeman, just make sergeants. Sergeants will eat the pikeman for breakfast, and you don't even need First Crusade or anything crazy like that. Leary also coming in with a castle drop on the left side. Sicilian castles build really fast, so pulling that many vills is almost gonna guarantee that castle going up if you have a couple of pikemen scoring. Without that, it's a little bit dangerous, because there is still a lot of knights over there. Leary also healing up all his knights before combat once again, as he's getting close to Imperial. Nope. Leary's gonna say no on that castle. I think you're probably better off if you just go for the castle over here, because Leary's close to him. So it makes sense to just go for a castle drop around here. That would destroy most of the production buildings, but Leary wants to take this TC down. He's a man with a mission. By the way, these knights are still here. These guys have been bashing villagers forever, and that's part of the reason why Leary doesn't have an eco lead, but that castle is going up. That castle is going up, and this TC is going down. A lot of villagers would be exposed on the left, and there's nowhere to go here for Jordan if those knights find them. So, yeah, the knights will just jump the TC. Leary should know that Jordan is somewhere around, so he should be looking for them. He doesn't know about that lumber camp just yet. Meanwhile, TC will go down. Jordan is just gonna mass migrate to the left side. Still feeder lakes for both players, and Leary still hasn't clicked up into Imperial yet. A couple of villagers will get picked off here by Jordan. That's a nice counterattack. But on the way to Imperial is Leary, and I see sergeants in the queue. I like that. I think sergeants, because sergeants would basically melt everything that Jordan has. They actually perform okay against knights. There's 2 conversions as well for Leary again, and they would just absolutely annihilate the pikemen. So, 2 castles right now for Leary. First Crusade is something that he can consider if he really wants to go for sergeants, but he needs to add 2 more TCs for that, and he doesn't have the resources for that. I don't think it's worth popping First Crusade right now when you only have 3 TCs. You better make 2. Maybe even just buy the wood you need, make 2 TCs. So, looks like this little sneaky corner is still there for Jordan. He is getting close to clicking up the Imperial as well, but he's gonna be quite a bit behind. Big fight at the back here. Jordan actually gets some quick walls up, and now that's a lot of pikemen. That's a lot of pikemen over there. But nonetheless, now it is sergeants for Leary, and there is 1 TC being added. He just needs 1 more. And then it's First Crusade time. Would be fun to see First Crusade in a competitive event. And you see, now Leary sees it, right? Yeah, Leary sees it. That's -6 vills for Jordan. So he's gonna lose that. Leary, he is not making trebs at all just yet. And it looks like Jordan's gonna switch into Arbalest. Khmer, I think, are lacking Thumbring, but they still have Arbalest and Bracer available, so that's something. There's the 5th TC, by the way, and considering well where it's placed, I am suspecting this is only for First Crusade. Indeed it is. This TC would not make a lot of sense by default, but here's Leary with First Crusade. He's still missing the Imperial Age infantry upgrades as well as the Elite Sergeant upgrade, but there is the Sergeants and First Crusade. Now, Jordan's gonna have the mobility here with Light Cavalry in the long run. It's something that shouldn't be overlooked. But Leary has very good defensive castles in key positions, and he's about to drop a castle on the right side as well. Plate mail as well, as Leary's housed at 207 population. Here come the sergeants. I count 49 sergeants on the field, and they are marching straight to the right side. Now, this is not gonna be the best castle foundation I've ever seen, especially without any kind of forces. And Jordan is like, oh no! Oh boy. I don't think it was about this castle, it was about the First Crusade. It was probably about the First Crusade. He's like, oh no, you just pressed the button. And indeed, that's the button. Dungeons are also coming in here for Lerey so that he can reinforce this. Now he's got the Lead Sergeant, and he's just gonna try to take that force down so that the villagers can finish the castle. On the left side, we see knights picking off the leftover villagers. Jordan is down to 132 population. He's got a pretty big pikeman raid coming in here, but that's not gonna do absolutely anything. And good game password, as Jordan is saying, we want it to be WP instead of PW, but we're gonna forgive Jordan over here for that. Lerey presses the first crusade button and pushes Jordan out of this game here on graveyards. Let's take a look at the conversion counts, because that's what is interesting for me, as that was the main fight of the game overall. So 206 kills, 227 deaths here. But the more interesting thing is 9 conversions for Lerey, and he lost 8 to a conversion. So that's actually pretty even. I expected a lot better for Lerey. Like, for the entire game, I felt like Lerey was converting a lot of units and Jordan wasn't. So I'm a little surprised that it's a 9-8 conversion ratio. APM graphs. This is something that you guys will love. So 100 total APM for Lerey, 96 average for Jordan. Peak APM for Lerey, 221. 190 for Jordan. These are brutal numbers. They're some of the fastest players in the world. Alright, let's go back and add a score to Lerey. So, Sicilians are gone. And Khmer are also gone. So now we're going to Jordan's home map. I would expect something cheesy, so probably Lake Texcoco. He banned Starfighter, and we don't have Holy City either, so Texcoco or the other one, the Yamsuf, could be the possibilities for Jordan here, I believe. Alright, let's see if they have a game. They have been pretty fast setting up games, so I wonder if they are trying to hurry as well, because it's pretty late in the evening for them. It's actually midnight in Central Europe right now, so it's pretty late for both Jordan and Lerey. The previous sets were very, very long, and indeed we have a game, spec countdown already going on. We're going to Texcoco, and we will have Persians and Mayans as a matchup here. Mayans is an interesting choice, but I like it. This is something that we discussed in the previous set when Incas were used. Mayans, if they make a barracks and they make an eagle, they can have something in the middle that is capable of keeping control over that monument and preventing others from taking it, right? Whereas for Persians, they're just generally a pretty decent hybrid map civilization. Keep in mind that Persian knights have bonus damage against archers, so that's something that the Mayan player has to be mindful about. So he has to be careful with his archer numbers in this one. Alright, so the way that Lake Texcoco looks like is that you've seen it multiple times. I'm just mostly introducing the map to the YouTube audience. It's actually depicting the capital of the Aztec Empire, Tenochtitlan, with Lake Texcoco. There is 4 pretty much separate ponds with fishing, and there is going to be a lot of gimmick to start with. Both players will have to start with Loom. That's something I'm going to explain in a moment. And the reason why is because you will be housed at the beginning. So you, like for example, Jordan queued up villagers, and he needs to queue up Loom first. This is because you start with an eagle that looks like an elite eagle, but it has the same stats as an eagle scout. The difference is that this eagle can be attacked by these jaguars in the middle. And you start with a siege tower as well. that siege tower can be used to push deer, for example, or to get a unit through the walls. And as I said, this monument is going to give you a trickle of gold if you control it. You can jump through the walls with the siege tower, take control of it. You don't want to send in your initial scout though, because it's just gonna get killed by the jaguars. And this is why Mayans can be super fun. If they have a barracks, they can just add an eagle, and a standard eagle scout, not something that's like special like this, would not get attacked by the jaguars and would be able to just control that. That's the only unit that you can get through the walls in Feudal Age and like without destroying the actual walls, and it's capable of controlling the middle without dying. Anyways, Jordan, as you see, he is using the siege tower to push in deer, good old-fashioned deer push for him. He's playing Persians. As I said, it's a very, very good hybrid map civilization. You have 4 pawns over here. Each of them are separated with a bridge, and the bridge is not traversable for ships, so obviously you are gonna have these 4 pawns isolated. So this map actually plays out somewhat similar to 4 Lakes. People going for fishing eco on their own pond, and then sort of trying to get the sneaky dock on the opponent. By the way, on this map, the players are pretty far away from their boar, so usually you need loom to lure these in, because they're kind of far apart. So, let's see what we got over here. We got Jordan moving forward. He actually got an eagle here, and this is a difference. This is actually something that we haven't seen before. The thing is that the normal eagle scout is not allowed to kill huntables, but that doesn't apply to this unit, because just as much as this eagle can be killed by animals, this can also kill animals. So, guess what? That's -2 huntables for Liereyy. Nice little touch by Jordan there. It's not something that looks major, but it actually is. Small little advantages like that can actually pile up to be big at the end. Jordan is 5 on wood, so standard-ish water build over here for him. Same thing for Liereyy. For now, it's just going to be fishing. It's pretty obvious that Jordan will try to play water combat, so the question is what Liereyy is going to do with his Mayans here, because I think he probably wants to play some Fire Galley defense into archers. Like after Empire Wars tournaments, it's always hard to look at Dark Age, because in Empire Wars everything is so fast, and then you go back to Dark Age and you're just waiting for the players to get to Feudal Age for something to happen, right? By the way, I think at this pace we are likely going to reach the 10-hour stream mark, because it's 9 hours and 20 minutes right now, and we are still in just game number 2, so 10 hours seems very legitimate, maybe even 11 if the set goes long. The siege tower from Liereyy is just gonna walk into the range of Jordan's TC, but Jordan is not gonna bother. He's not gonna take shots on that siege tower. I mean, it's already pretty strong with pierce armor. Why bother, right? Meanwhile, you got the siege tower trying to push the deer in here. Jordan is having trouble with that. And, oh, this is what Liereyy was focusing on. This is what Liereyy was focusing on. That's one of the boars from Jordan. And this lay might have been going on for some time, and I'm a completely potato caster after 9 hours not to notice that. I was like, hey, there's some eagle fighting down there, but that's not the main attraction. The main attraction is a lane by Liereyy. That eagle is already pretty weak though, so I'm not sure if Liereyy can actually get this in. And I'm fairly certain that he's just gonna lose that eagle. 3 HP, Jordan's gonna block the boar. Liereyy is still trying, but... oh, come on. Look at these micro nerds. And now Liereyy is pulling a villager so that he can lure it in, even if the eagle dies. That's so smart. He lets the eagle die, but the villager can't hit it. So the boar is actually gonna start walking back all the way through the middle. Oh man. Oh man. Liereyy tried the lame here, and it was a massive effort. He's been laming that for like 5 minutes. Crazy micro from both players. This actually means that Jordan was able to beat Leary to Feudal Age without his second board. That's massive. I'm just gonna highlight that real quick here. Jordan is actually faster to Feudal Age than Leary, and he does not have his second board. That's massive. By the way, Jordan will be housed here. So, if he doesn't realize that, he's gonna be very, very sad when he finishes that dock. Because he wants to go for Fire Galleys here, and I think he won't notice that he's housed. Okay, he's just now noticing it. So, dock is gonna finish a couple of seconds too late, as there's the barracks for Leary as expected. Meanwhile, Fire Galleys will start popping out for Jordan, so no surprise over here. Jordan's gonna have to wall himself and just play for the water and carve out an economical advantage that way. So far, he's not really playing for the water, though, as we will have a galley to open with. Not even a fire galley. Interesting. So I guess the idea behind the galley is that you can kill fishing ships with it really fast, because it actually does more damage to fishing ships than the fire galleys do. And also, you can potentially try to snipe the repair villager. Walls coming in on the south for Jordan. It looks like he might not even take that boar now. I still think that it would be worth taking at some point, but it's something that you don't need to rush now. Jordan once again gets housed, apparently having quite a lot of issues with that. He probably was distracted while he was, you know, trying to counter the lane, and that is now going to backfire at him. Leary still keeping his fishing eco alive, and this is why galley opening here only works if you have a massive advantage into Feudal Age. And this is what I was talking about. Leary is gonna make the only unit in Feudal Age that can be added to the other side of the wall without destroying those, and will survive the Jaguars. And that is a standard Eagle Scout that you make at the barracks. And it seems like that might be the reason why Leary is making the barracks after all. Oh, that's so smart. That's very, very smart. He is defending on his own pond with a fire galley. He actually secures this pond, which is completely untouched, so he could have a couple of fishing ships here untouched. He's now pushing the pond of Jordan, who now has colonized the north. But this is the big deal. And Jordan can't do anything against this. Jordan has not a single unit that can get through the walls of the siege tower and won't get killed by the Jaguars. So basically, Leary is guaranteed to have that monument in the middle, and that's gonna trickle him pretty decent amount of gold. Added to the fact that obviously Mayan Eco is also quite efficient, and you get a position for Leary where he must be very, very confident. So he's walling himself off. He's gonna be nice and safe in this corner. Has a back wood line. The gold is relatively safe. Is the monument providing everything but stone? I think it only gives you gold, if I'm not mistaken. You see, the gold count is rising one by one. The food count isn't, and the wood count isn't rising one by one either. So I think it only gives you a trickle of gold. I think it's something like 2.5 villagers worth of gold income, by the way. Still, Leary is holding his own pond. Now he's gonna have fire galleys out. Jordan has realized that he's here, so he's gonna fight that. But at this point, Leary has to be happy with the situation. As I said, he's got the monument in the middle, and now he's sending in 2 Eagle Scouts to kill that repair villager. Jordan is gonna lose his foothold on the pond of Leary here. Yep, villager goes down. And now those Eagles can start chasing down the siege tower, or just try to destroy that dog. That's a Persian dog, so it's gonna take quite a bit of a beating. Leary's trying to go for a second dock over here. Should be able to get that one up, because fire ships can't arc over buildings. So now Jordan's fishing eco is getting pushed, and Leary's one is completely untouched. Plus, as I said, you got the monument over here. Another advantage for Leary. And it looks like the resources are going to be comparable for the 2 players, so castlation times should be relatively even as well. But I can't help but wonder what Jordan is gonna do against Leary, who is in such a strong position. Because that's the main problem that Jordan is having right now, that Leary is in a better position than him, and you don't want to drag this out super long against Mayans, because Persians will struggle against Mayans in the long run. Halberdier Plumed Archer is not something that the Persians can stop. So Persians have to win this game before post-Imp, so at latest in early Imperial Age. For now, Leary is just amassing the fire galleys over here. He might wall that villager in and keep repairing that dock. That's exactly what's gonna happen. because he probably wants to get to Castle Age and go for the War Galley upgrade first. Siege Tower with Eagles. Oh, he wants to go through Jordan's walls, I think. That would be a reasonable idea. That would be such a good idea, in fact. He's got 4 Eagles in here. And that would be such a genius move. Oh my goodness. We have seen this before, as the fire galleys now from Leary are popping out, forcing Jordan's villagers away. So now Jordan is, well, forced to run back home. And here comes the siege tower. It's only 4 Eagle Scouts without upgrades, so they're not particularly strong. But it's gonna be perfect because Jordan is already distracted. He's losing his fishing eco here. Speaking of losing fishing eco, Jordan is also pushing Leary's spawn, by the way. But here come the Eagles, and that's not something Jordan expected. That's just not something Jordan expected. He's actually gonna break the walls, so the villager is gonna have a chance to run out. I like how Leary is just detaching 1 Eagle to kill that Vil and sending the rest of them back in. There is also a random villager here by Leary. Wait a minute, did he also add a villager into the siege tower? That's masterful. That's masterful. I mean, that villager can be so annoying here. Just laming resources and stuff. Leary is gonna be beaten to Castle Age by quite a bit though, so he delayed his Castle Age by a considerable margin. Let's see what Jordan has to say about this one. He's adding a dock over here to try and contest this fishing eco from Leary, but at this point it's a 6 villagers lead. And look at what Leary is doing. He's just making houses inside the base of the opponent. I could even see a forward archer range working out here because, you see, Jordan is just now making a barracks. So, by the time Jordan has any kind of military units out here, as Leary is gonna waste this, an eagle against the town center, a forward archer range here would be devastating. So, forward archer range, 2 archers, and those villagers will all be idled. We already have a dock here from Leary and Jordan as well. Jordan's getting the War Galley upgrade, and that should finish before this dock goes down. But it doesn't have a lot of ships, and Leary is not far away from Castle Age either, so he's gonna have fire ships soon as well. And, I mean, Leary is trying to wall those villagers in there, you see that? He's pulling the Vil, and he's trying to build some walls behind. That is because he just wants to cut off his opponent from accessing the pond, or accessing the berries, excuse me. That is just so well done by Leary once again. And, well, at this point, we're gonna have a couple of knights coming in here to join the party. Oh, that's just so ugly for Leary, though. That is just so ugly for Leary. Oh, this is a hard one at this point for Jordan. I'm not gonna lie. This is very hard. He's down to 35 villagers. I'm trying to be positive over here, but the truth is that Leary is getting a castle up here for defensive purposes. He's gonna have plumed archers, and we are soon going to see Jordan probably tapping out of this one. Leary has the monument in the middle. Leary is just controlling 3 out of 4 pawns over here, and he's gonna have plumed archers in a moment. I just don't see which direction Jordan could go to win this. He's 44 population against a massive advantage of 70 pop. And as I said, Leary is already on 2 TCs, making a 3rd one. Jordan's gonna try to launch a counterattack, and the base of Leary is open, so he might find a couple of Vils to pick off, but it's just gonna be insufficient, probably. Knights now coming in. Leary not reacting until now, as he's gonna jump back into the TC. This TC should also go up, so he should still have absolutely no problems. And I mean, Look at all this mess, all the yellowness across the map. A lot of fish as well for our yellow player Liereyy. He's gonna try to trap those knights in there now. DC fire isn't super devastating here, but it's gonna slowly grind down those knights. I don't know what Jordan can do, really. Like, I don't think he has a unit or strategy that he could go for here. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, well, one positive is that he's actually able to get some fire ships out here down south. And we're gonna have him taking down the fishing eco of Liereyy over here. That's a positive. That I can say is a big positive here for Jordan. But still, 16 villagers behind, and you see Liereyy is already burning down the walls. He's prepared for the next step, which is getting a monastery up and getting some monks in to try and pick up some relics. And it could be very easy for him to pick up even 7 relics here, which would just make life even worse for Jordan, who's still trying to burn his way through these walls. Liereyy did not drop a dock here to contest the final pond. Looks like he's just gonna play defensive now. Liereyy is going full boom defense. Look at this. He knows exactly he's ahead by that much that he can just afford to boom. And I feel like it's not gonna be surprising either if Liereyy just goes into Imperial before taking any fights. Going for a monastery, he already has a castle. He will need a university for ballistics anyways. But Jordan is like 5 steps behind right now. I just don't think there is a way back here for Jordan. I'm trying to be positive, it's just this game is gone for him, I think. He's behind by 20 eco. It would take a very, very long game and some massive mistakes from Liereyy to have any chance at coming back into this one. You see the plumed archers are moving to the middle immediately. Now that the walls are broken through, Liereyy will probably try to prevent the opponents from getting any relics over there and just send in his own monks. It's gonna be a little bit tricky because this bridge is actually controlled by Jordan's navy. But it looks like the plumes will just run past here, go straight into the base of the opponent. Persian knights still have bonus damage against archers, as there's a hole there. There's a hole there as well. The house is being built just in time. So Jordan realized. But guess what? There's a siege tower here available for Liereyy. I don't think Jordan realized that. I don't think Jordan realized that there's a siege tower here that could just allow Liereyy to hop through the walls. And I feel like that dagger is just gonna be pushed so deep in here that Jordan will tap out. Even if he had any hope of coming back into this game, that must be a heartbreaker here. Plumed archers inside your eco like that. Oh, that's so ugly, and he does only have +1 defense on those knights. No +2 defense, no bloodlines. Luckily for him, at least the plumes don't have ballistics, so they won't be killing all the vills. But that's the type of fight where it's like, okay, it's time to call it. Jordan is still trying, but at latest, when Liereyy gets to Imperial, this will be a GG. And this is actually a very nice choke point for Liereyy to fight in. As I said, those knights are lacking armor and health upgrades, so they will actually be taken down by the plumed archers here eventually. So, let's see what else do we got. We got Liereyy on the way to Imperial. He's got 2 castles with a 3rd one in construction down south. That should mean 3 castles worth of plumed archer production. Liereyy is actually going for the relics that are further away from him so that he can minimize the chances of Jordan grabbing any relics. He's using his own fire ships to control this bridge and just try to prevent Jordan's units from running in. Liereyy is already, I think, coming in with relic number 1, 2, and the 3rd one is also on the way. This just has Liereyy written all over it, to be honest. And as I said, at latest in Imperial Age, this game is gonna be over for Jordan, because he won't be able to stop mass plumed archers, supported by what will be inevitably 7 relics at this pace for Liereyy. Looks like Jordan is going to try and contest the middle, as the Jaguars will all be triggered by those knights. So here's the deal. Now Liereyy has Jordan has the middle. Liereyy just needs to send his plumed archers in here, and he should be all good. Or, even better, just attack Jordan's base. Because if Jordan doesn't have the knights back at home, then you can just pick off all the villagers out here, and you can keep a couple of plumed archers here to try and snipe the monks that are bringing the relics back. A castle drop from Liereyy. Looks like he's gonna give up on the relics. He's gonna be satisfied with the 3, I think he has. Fireships and Jaguars will take that knight down, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all, because Liereyy takes 2 in a row, looking really strong in this one, I'm not gonna lie. He's looking extremely strong. And it's hard to say where Jordan could stop him. I'm trying to find some positives here, but this game was absolute domination from Liereyy. The strategy choice was nice with the Eagle, capturing the monument. Then the water combat just turned out to be better for Liereyy as well. He won against Persians with Mayans. And then everything else is just the Eagle is moving in, the Plumed Archers. Liereyy had a nice early lead, and he just sit on it and boomed all the way up to Imperial. Wasn't a super challenging game for him, to be honest. At the end, he finishes the game with 25 eco killed and 10 lost. Easy second game, I would say, for Liereyy. And it's looking bad for Jordan right now. But you never know. Maybe the next map is going to be something that he has a good strategy for. Because Persians here was somewhat predictable. Lierey's strategy seemed to have a little bit more creativity inside it, I would say. Let's see what map they're going for. They seem to be fast setting up the games, and we should also keep in mind that this is pretty late in the evening for both players. In fact, it's the middle of the night. It's past midnight, so part of the reason why, you know, either of the players could have some tough moments, and it seems like Jordan is the one that's having tough moments, is because it's very late in the evening for the players. Nonetheless, we're going to Kalimutu Lakes, a map where Jordan is picking a somewhat surprising Byzantines, and we will have Liereyy with Japanese. I kind of feel like Japanese is the better civ here, to be honest. So, Japanese have the chance to open Men-at-Arms or potentially Drush. I'll have to double check if the Men-at-Arms or the Japanese attack bonus applies to Dark Age as well. Does that work that way? No, it starts Feudal Age, so the Drush wouldn't be buffed by the Japanese bonus. You could still get the discount on the mill so that you can place mills and take the fish. And then maybe play Men-at-Arms. I can see that working. What would Byzantines do against that? I'm just, in general, not sure what Byzantines want to do on this map. I mean, Spear and Skirm could be the idea, but Japanese will eat that with Men-at-Arms. I just clearly think that the Japanese here should be superior. Welcome to Kalimutu Lakes. It's the map where you turn fish into gold by depleting the fish out there. We'll have on the left side Byzantines for Jordan in blue. Right side is Liereyy in green. What color was Jordan the previous game? I think they started messing around with the colors, and I totally forgot to make them consistent, as Liereyy is gonna start with pushing in the deer. He is not even taking a water buffalo, he starts immediately with a deer push. Jordan was red. Okay, then we're gonna do red for Jordan here as well, just for consistency purposes. So this map is usually very well defendable, but you have a very small amount of gold to work with. 4 tiles, that's actually less than you have in Gold Rush. And the way that you obtain gold is that you use either of these 3 pawns, one major pawn in the middle and 2 minor pawns in the north and the south, is to take the fish. Once you deplete the fish, you can actually convert that into 400 gold. So it turns into gold mine. If you take these stone piles, which are 700 stone, and you finish them, they turn into relics. And here is why Jordan could actually surprise Liereyy on this map, because this map has a gimmick. You can have these pagan shrines for yourself. These are neutral and you can capture them by walking close to it, and this is the map where Lierey's deer pushing is actually going to backfire. He's known for being a big deer pusher, but this is a map where it's probably something that can be punished. Here comes a priest. A priest is basically an 80 gold monk that has 4 range of conversion. So this is basically a Dark Age monk that is going to be able to arc over walls and convert vills. This is actually something that's gonna be really hard to deal with for Leary. He's gonna need to snipe it using his scout. For now, Jordan is gonna be 4 on wood here. And at this point, peeking Byzantines, as I said, for this map is still a question mark. But let's see what he can do with the Monk. I think he suspects that Leary's wood line will be over here. Because I don't think Leary would go for a front wood, and he's not over here, so it has to be somewhere around over here. Alright, Leary's gonna wall his villagers in, but one thing he doesn't know is that this is not the same Monk as you would have on Sacred Glade, or how it's called, Holy Glades. That map has monks that have 0 range for conversion that cost 20 gold. This is a priest that costs 80 gold and has 4 range. So you see, he can start converting and... Jordan. This is the type of surprise he needs to make. And he's now trying to wall those villagers in there. Now I think he's gonna have to run with his monk, luring in the boar right now, but now he doesn't have wood income. The monk is recharging with faith. That's actually a very, very good start. Looks like a monk from H1+1. It's actually the same model, believe it or not. It's the very same model for this game. Like, it was always in the game, it was just never utilized. But the H1+1 monk model was actually in there. Lear is coming in here to snipe the monk though, and he is gonna get it. He's gonna get the monk. That's the most important thing. So 80 gold goes down the drain for Jordan, but he managed to take a will from Leary. So Leary is down 1 will. Oh, Jordan. Come on, Leary. That's just brutal. I kind of feel like, yes, Lee lost the villager here, but once again, the emotional advantage could be on the side of Leary once again, because now he killed the monk, he kills the opponent's scout, keeps his own scout alive, and that is just brutal. Barracks now coming in, and I think he just wants to play standard men-at-arms here at this pace with the villagers he has. He lost the villager, and now he's chasing down this one with the other. Jordan just casually making a wall here. Leary coming in with the wall as well in between those two forests. Easy wall on that side. And now Jordan bumps into Komodo Dragon. He doesn't have Loom. And that villager was damaged. The dragon could get the villager kill. Komodo hypes in the chat because that is the villager from Jordan going down. That was the converted will. And the Komodo Dragon gets the kill. Jordan tried to de-aggro it with the House Foundation, but even if he does, the Komodo Dragon will re-aggro in the moment it moves away from the House Foundation. So that didn't work out for Jordan. In the end, that basically means that he's gonna have a 1 villager lead over the opponent. Looks like it's a man-at-arms opening. Is it a man-at-arms though? No, it's a drush from Jordan. He's trickling in militias 1 by 1. It's pretty easy to wall the base off for Leary though, so I honestly don't think that these militias can do much. It's just like 2 houses here, and these militias from Jordan won't do anything. He wants to go for the fish, but I feel like at this point what Leary is gonna do is go for his own man-at-arms. Japanese men-at-arms will shred the Byzantines over here, and Jordan is nowhere close to feudal age, so he's not gonna have any combat ships whatsoever. He will get pushed off from the water immediately. I think that I like Leary's position here a lot more. Second militia coming in. Leary is a little late on gold, but as I said, it shouldn't matter that much. He's gonna be fully walled back at home. That's the other positive to look at. So, Jordan is also adding a couple of fishing ships. His eco is going to be better than Leary's one in the long run, and he's now grabbing Loom. But as I said, he's going to get beaten to feudal age really heavily, and this is the momentum that Leary needs to push him off from the water, and then start taking the fish himself. And Leary has the army to maintain control over the water, which is not the case for Jordan right now. Japanese man-at-arms coming in here. And since Jordan cannot even make a combat ship, as he doesn't have the food for feudal age, the man-at-arms could easily just destroy that dock as well. Jordan's gonna have to run right now. He's gonna try to snipe that scout. Leary won't allow that to happen for a time being. I see another monk here by Jordan, so he probably wants to get a conversion. Scout will try to dive in. Oh, look at that micro by Leary. He actually pulled away the man-at-arms that was converted, or at least that was targeted by Jordan. and then use the other 2 men-at-arms to turn around and hit that monk, kill the monk once again. That's once again 80 gold down the drain for Jordan. I feel like Leary is annihilating Jordan here. Because now, as I said, men-at-arms will be more than happy to just bash down that dock, and that would secure the fish in the middle for Leary. He's actually adding a 4th man-at-arms as well, even joining into the party with his scout. And Jordan, he's gonna be up to feudal age, but his only source of food is berries right now. That looks very, very grim right now for him. And I don't know what he could do. That's the problem. That there is no good answer here. He could try making an archer range and going for a couple of archers, but Lear's gonna be one step ahead with that as well, because guess what? Leary's eco is so much better now that Leary can drop that archer range as well. So, man-at-arms taking down the dock over here, and it's up to 5 men-at-arms. If you add a couple of skirms in here for Leary, you're gonna be in a great position, because you can pick off the early archers, and then the men-at-arms will just steamroll everything else. Is there 33% attack speed from Japanese in feudal? Yes, it does. That's why Leary is playing Japanese over here for man-at-arms, and this is why I think it's the better civ. I don't know what Byzantines want to do here for Jordan. Like, the only thing I can imagine for Byzantines, really, is actual fire galleys. By the way, this archer range is on a hill, so now that the man-at-arms are attacking down hills, there is gonna be some damage bonus as well. I think Leary should commit against this one. Just try to take that range down. I don't think that Jordan can stop it. Yeah, you see the archer is crawling closer, but Leary doesn't care. Leary's just gonna send 1 man-at-arms to scare away that archer, now sends in the man-at-arms to try and take down the Vil. Leary is gonna kill a Vil maybe. Monk is here. The scout could take down the monk. It looks like it's not gonna happen. And the monk survives. Looks like the range survives, so this was actually an underwhelming fight. From Jordan, or from Leary, excuse me. Like, Leary needed 3 skirms here, that's it. Maybe not even 3, just 2 skirms. And then the 2 skirms push back the archers, and then you can take that range down. So Jordan's gonna try to redock here in the middle. He's not giving up on this, but Leary now has a pretty considerable eco lead. And I feel like, if you look at the resources, Leary at this pace will just beat his opponent to Castle Age here. There's already a second dock coming in. Archer range as well, of course, for Leary. He has fletching on the way. And he's got the sturdy Japanese fishing ships, which are even harder to kill. So even if Jordan gets some sort of water control temporarily, it's hard to kill those Japanese fishing ships. So, looks like Jordan is moving to the south over here. There's not much to look at here. There is a militia from Jordan exploring the northern pond. There is a spearman guarding the southern pond here for Leary. He just wants to know if Jordan moves there. Men-at-arms once again join the party against those docks over here, as Leary is now adding fire galleys. Jordan is also adding fire galleys, and now what Leary needs to do is add 2 spearmen. Spearmen have bonus damage against ships, and they also attack faster for Japanese, so it makes sense to add the spearmen and just deal with the ships using that. There is some damos coming in as well for Jordan. But, I mean, Leary is about to click up to Castle Age, and when that happens, he's gonna add knights. And when he has knights, he's just gonna be able to finish the game, I think. Archers and monks coming in here. Remember, those monks could be pretty useful against the fire galleys. And Jordan just waiting for the right time to strike. Leary, he might need a couple of scouts to deal with this, or a couple of archers to snipe the monks. Skirms might also do fine here. That's a heal advantage for Leary, and he's trying to pick off the monks. One goes down. The other one... the other monk is going to survive for the time being. But those are very expensive in Feudal Age. 80 gold in Feudal is a massive amount of resources. Behind this one, Jordan is now unpopping the ships. The damos will get a decent connection, but not perfect. Still Byzantine fire galleys here, but there is a damo coming in from Leary. Jordan has to split away, does so very, very nicely, and in the end, that's gonna be just one Fire Galley killed by the Demo. The Monk gets taken down by the Fire Galley and the Men-at-Arms as well. And as I said, Leer is on the way to Castle Age, Jordan isn't. That's the big deal here. That Jordan is not going into Castle Age in the next couple of moments. He's getting close because now he has a decent farming eco set up. He's getting the buildings for it, but he's still gonna get beaten to Castle Age by like a solid minute or so. And added to the fact that Leery is not pushing him with double range skirmishers, so Jordan is losing quite considerable numbers. I feel like if Leery gets a stable up for a couple of nights, this is gonna be a GG. Because part of Jordan's food income actually comes from the berries, and this game can snowball really fast because you would have the middle food, then you would have the middle gold as well, plus you also have the hill if you control this area, so Leery could easily start pressuring those berries. Second range just now coming in for Jordan, and indeed it's a 1.5 minutes deficit for Jordan into Castle Age. Leery, it looks like he's just gonna go for water for now, and he's not gonna add any knights. Instead, just continues with skirms, as I'm saying that there is the stable. That's the right thing to do. Just go for knights, forward siege workshop over here, and you will have the hill advantage with your mangonels all the time. And you know that Jordan doesn't have the economy to add a lot of knights here. So chances are he's gonna be stuck on archers and skirms for a long time. A forward siege workshop could be a massive dagger. And looks like the set that I anticipated to be the closest because of how good Jordan and Lear were performing in previous tournaments might be the shortest one of all, because so far this is clinical from Leery, and Jordan is struggling to stop the Austrian right now. Lead skirm on the way, some knights will be mixed in as well by Leery. He's gonna take down the dock, and for Jordan, I just don't know what he could do, honestly. He's gonna be up to Castle Age, but he's got half the army as his opponent. His opponent has the middle for all the fishing as well. And that villager might be coming forward for a siege workshop as well. Fight over here, and you see this is desperation here by Jordan. He's trying to keep that wall up as long as possible, trying to get some skirm numbers out. He wants to pop them out at the same time, but he needs the elite skirm upgrade for them first. And that's something that he can potentially grab. Nope, no elite skirm yet. No elite skirm at all, but even if there's elite skirm, there's already knights from Leery, so Leery is once again just a step ahead compared to his opponent. And now it's elite skirm, Botkin arrow. Leery has both of those, no +2 defense yet, but there is knights. That's the big deal for Leery. That he's got knights here, no bloodlines, no +2 defense, but he's got the hill in exchange. And as I said, behind this one there is 7 villagers lead as well for Leery. He's gonna do the exact same thing that he did in the previous game. Use the advantage that he has and sit on it, just boom his way up and finish the game that way. A range could also go down here to the knights. And as I said, Jordan doesn't have the food eco to make skirms. So he just can't make skirms. He's got, this is all his food eco. 8 farms, no berries, no fish. And look at Leery. He has expanded to the south now, fishing there as well. The north currently is not being fished, but he does have some skirms over there. There is the forward siege workshop from Leery. 31 army versus 17, 84 pop versus 62. And it very much seems like Jordan's gonna exit this tournament in a 3-0 fashion as things stand, because I think once these knights break through, there is no way to stop this one for Jordan. Quick monastery in here. He's still trying to hold this, but I mean, he might even have lost that foundation. I don't know if he actually cancelled it in time. Does it really matter? Probably not. Viel Glück, aka good luck for the next one. And just a couple of minutes short of a 10-hour stream over here with Majestic Apex coming back for 13 months. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. So, Jordan versus Leery. 3-0 here for Leery. Clinical performance from the Austrian here. It was a hard time to play for both of these players. It's past midnight. Maybe Jordan suffered from that more than Leery did. But one thing is sure, Leery put up an absolutely clinical performance on these maps. And, well, once again, he is in the semifinals of a major tournament. He's gonna be up against the winner of Mr. Yo versus Doubt